Good afternoon, this is Mark at the Wicked Edge Expert Corner Group YouTube channel, and we're getting ready to sharpen one of my old knives, and I just clamped it up in the sharpening position. I use the arch method where I put that line close to parallel to the jawline and center the length of the knife. This knife is pretty gentle in its curve, so it is centered over the jawline. And I wanted to talk about just make a statement about this new what do they call it? That's the advanced, the normal alignment guide. It has no pins on the new standard vise, but it does fit right there with the jawline and against, and the reading on it says B 3/4, and that is my clamping position from a prior vise with this pin, so it transfers over. The readings do work. I wanted to make that statement. So I do have it in centered, and we're clamping. And what we're able to do here, because I have this knife out of the box, we looked at it, and now we're going to look at it. Excuse me. I have this knife photographed before I sharpened it the first time. It wasn't out of the box. I didn't know back then that I wanted to record a knife brand new out of the box to look at the maker's edge. But what I did do is I have records that I can compare of this knife edge the first time I sharpened it as compared to how it is today. So that first wear compared to this one where I just tested this knife and it says that it's 1,000 grams back here and 875 up there, and I'm wondering why does it look like that? And we can see that there's just nothing here on the apex. It's just flattened out, which suggests to me that somebody at my friend's house either used this on ceramic or something like that, cutting board, I don't know, but here, or the granite tops. Here, this one, as we go forward in here, it's really terrible. It's really shredded. It may have been sharpened in a pull-through sharpener. And when we get all the way up here to the tip, the tip can use some attention too. So this will be a good knife to sharpen because we have the documentation, and then we can do more documentation as we sharpen it to compare it. Let me see if I can find, like I said, this knife was sharpened at 15 degrees. B 3/4 was the position that I had it in. So we have it in the same position, and we're going to see if using 1500 grit stone with my records from prior. We're going to put a stone on here using my angle method that I've come to use. Now this knife, I'm trying to see if I can tell when it was. That was the last time that it was sharpened, by the way. That is 2 micron. That's the tip. It was really a nice, that's the bevel. It was really a nice polished job. So I have documentation to compare it to. So right now we're just going to set this at 15 degrees and see if the bevel matches. We're going to put a marker on it. We're going to look at the picture. We're going to set the angle. It's a day or so since we sharpened, so we're going to check the cube for 0 because I lifted this up off the bench doing some other tests. So this cube is not zeroed out. I'm glad that I checked it because I don't know how it was so whacked. Okay. We're looking to go to 15 degrees and put a mark on the edge to see if the prior sharpening job, and it was done on a different model than this, and my sharpening logs, my tables, I'm trying to build amongst everything that I'm attempting to do. I'm trying to build a spreadsheet sharpening log where it would say which sharpener the knife was sharpened with, include in that. Trying to include more data in the spreadsheet, and it's more computer skill than I have to build a spreadsheet. I'm at 14.9 degrees. I was at 15.03 and I unlocked it trying to move closer, and I should have quit while I was less than 0.05. That's my working goal for my knives that I sharpen, is I like to set the angle plus or minus 5/100ths. Right now this is reading, I'm not going to push the hold button and show you, but it says 14.9697. It's flickering. So I'm within 3/100ths of 15 degrees. And not setting up the other side, and just to get on with this demonstration, I am going to use black ink because I think with the camera, the black is easier to see the contrast than the color. And I'm going to just scrub as though I'm matching the angle, which is exactly what I'm doing. And let's see where we are. I'm at the bottom. It looks like I'm at the bottom of the bevel at 15 degrees. Which tells me that I previously didn't sharpen this knife at 15 degrees. I'm going to set up on the other side to double check, because I'm curious now why it is obviously that far off. Because up or down, forward or back, it's still the same clamping theory, clamping the knife, although I'm making an assumption that when I originally sharpened this knife, I clamped it. Well, my record says I did. We'll see. That's why I do this stuff. 1493. As you barely see me moving, I am barely moving because I'm moving this slide adjuster and I'm losing it. I'm sliding towards the knife and I'm trying to slide the other way. 15.09, I'm too far. Okay. 15.01. Yes, it's resting on there. If you're not sure, take your stone off. See, I'm off with the stone. Put it back on. Let it read again. 15.05 at another position. 15.04, 0.02. So, yes, it's good. 15 degrees on both sides. Let's take a marker to it and see on this side. That looks vertical. This is interesting. I like this stuff. Now this one's up on the top. So that suggests to me that I'm not sitting right in the vise.